Hip-hop, a music genre that garners a lot of attention for positive and negative reasons, from creating black business moguls like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Birdman, to being synonymous to gang violence, drugs, and lewd behavior. But today in the universe of hip-hop, I want to dive into a subgenre that go hand in hand with the rap community. Podcast. Whose podcast in particular? Well, stick around and let's dive into it. Adam Grand Mason, better known as Adam22, is a podcaster out of LA with a very popular YouTube and podcast called No Jumper, more recently known as the California Cuck for publicly pawning his wife out happily more than once for a steady paycheck, recognition, and lamb truck. Adam was given a warm smile from his wife as the baby batter dripped from her face. No better way to show gratuity for your lifestyle than with a warm smile joined by children, I guess. The downfall of No Jumper doesn't come as a surprise to most people, as Adam has lost multiple co-hosts and been accused of many serious crimes that hold serious weight. But we're not here to talk about this man's bedroom kinks and extra curricular activities, but the fact that time and time again Adam has found himself in hot water in regards to rap culture and unpopular hip-hop takes, which brings me to the sizzling hot topic of Adam22 bringing Blockstar, aka the judge, jury, and executioner of Pop Smoke, to his podcast. Now, from a business standpoint, I can understand that clicks, views, and comments end up bringing in revenue, but to utilize your platform to give this man any sort of airtime to expand on a crime we know he's guilty of is absolutely insane, and is clearly a slap in the face to the deceased and fecal matter on his grave. From being a potential associate to Pop and his team to interviewing his murderer is just a bad business practice for multiple reasons. I don't want to make this really opinion-based and just stick to facts, so I'm gonna dive straight into it. The interview is over an hour long, and Adam, along with his co-host, try to pad and fluff the interview with some background context of how Blockstar grew up and his prior cases, but we don't give a damn. We all know what we came for, which is information and details on Pop's murder, the inside scoop and verbal POV we haven't heard before. From Blockstar's nonchalant "it is what it is" attitude to him legitimately saying he wasn't sorry for the murder of Pop Smoke, the man seems unenthused and out of the conversation from the very start, more fixated on lighting his already lit blunt. I'm not going to act like I followed the details of the case very closely, but it seems pretty simple. 4 juveniles plot and plan to rob Pop Smoke, which Blockstar said he had no recollection or idea of who Pop Smoke was, or even planned for the house to be occupied at the time of them robbing it. Now, I don't know how radio play in LA works, but you mean to tell me all you little between the ages of 15, 16, and 17 and you ain't heard of Pop Smoke, who just had one of the biggest songs to come out the year prior to you popping him? No pun intended, no disrespect, my fault. It's not like collabs and hits weren't coming out up until his death. So you mean to just tell me you got word that somebody with bread was staying at that particular house in the hills for a lick? Make it make sense. What makes this interview so distasteful is the fact that this dude is already a neighborhood celebrity in his hood for sure. He's definitely a trophy. But this man possesses no talents, no clear career path, and has management along with security. What the fuck are they securing? Like, what talents does Buddy possess for him to have a manager and security? And I'm not hating at all. I'm genuinely curious because this dude's been out for almost a year and has been pretty low for the most part and even held down regular jobs. So why all of a sudden does he have this rollout celebrity status for some reason? For context, Blockstar is 21 and Pop was 20 when they killed him. Dudes already had the luxury of living one extra year compared to the victim. So my question for this is, what after this, Adam? Was there nobody in this man's space to tell him this was just a bad business practice? Your whole bread and butter is to interview up-and-coming rappers or rappers that are already established, and you didn't stop to think that interviewing the man that killed New York's biggest up-and-coming artists would jeopardize your current and future relationships? I'm assuming Adam was okay doing this since it was so closely tied to his backyard, but if that's the case, since we're giving people who have killed rappers a platform, why not interview Lil Tim, the murderer of Vaughn? Is it because you're associated with people from Chicago that you know wouldn't let that shit fly? Look, in this situation, bro, crash out glorification is horrible, regardless of who it is, but this situation overall is just lame as hell. And I'm someone who usually doesn't care much on cultural situations like this, but I think this just wasn't a good move in any form or fashion. And I'm not about to jump on the let's cancel Adam train, but I do think that this dude needs to prioritize the integrity of his brand and what he has left to his name. I don't know, maybe I'm just old-fashioned or something, but I genuinely don't get why this sit-down had to happen. If anything, this puts Blockstar life more at risk than anything, regardless of who he's gonna be around. It's the fact that this promotes his actions. Like, this interview promotes what he did, and it paints him even more in a negative light. Like, you just jeopardize this man's life even more because he came on the podcast. He's got this nonchalant, it is what it is attitude. I don't know if he's trying to do the whole, like, I feel bad about the situation, but, like, I gotta play this shit off because my hood is looking at me. Like, I can't show no remorse, I can't show no weakness. So, I mean, that's putting a bigger target on his back. I mean, I don't wish harm to come to this dude, but I am a firm believer that whatever energy you throw out there, man, that shit is gonna come back to you the same way or 2 times worse. I didn't want to make this video extra long, but I just think that this situation is just lame overall, bro. Like, I'm not somebody who's followed Adam from the very jump. I mean, I know he's interviewed, some artists that I like, X, Ski, Trippy, Juice, just people when they're up and coming. But, like, this right here is lame. Like, your platform is to interview people who hold significant weight in the rap community, not tear down pillars in the rap community. Like, what was going through this dude's head for him to be like, you know what, let me interview the person who killed Pop Smoke, when Adam himself has interacted with Pop Smoke before he passed away? Like, I just think that there's no way that he thought that this shit was gonna fly. And I mean, I'm pretty sure he's worked with plenty of people who are from New York. Like, you didn't think that this would jeopardize the relationship of those people? I mean, because imagine if this dude interviewed Lil Tim, right? He brought Lil Tim on the podcast, and he knows that if he brought Lil Tim on that podcast, that would be his ass. Dirk would be on his head. Chopper would be on his head. Everybody that is currently alive that's not even from Chicago, like, that would have something to say about him bringing somebody like Lil Tim on. So my question is, why is New York not necessarily riding for Pop like Chicago would be riding for Von? Because either way, this situation is just atrocious, bro. Like, I don't want to sit here and ramble, but I just had to throw my 2 cents into this because this sit down was definitely something that just didn't need to happen. I mean, maybe it's time for dude to retire, leave the podcast alone, and I guess fully focus on Korn, because this was not a hot take. I think this was just blatantly disrespectful and a slap in the face of all his friends, loved ones, siblings if he had any. I think he did, if I'm not mistaken, some sisters. And it's just lame, bro. Like, you literally talked to Pop before he died. I don't know when exactly that was, but there's the video on the screen that's been looping and playing of you talking to Pop, and, like, out of just morality, you didn't think, like, damn, like, Pop was cool when I met him, or even if he wasn't cool when you met him, like, I'm gonna interview the dude that was potentially the one to pull the trigger and kill him, just because it'll give clicks and views. I'm pretty sure his pockets aren't hurting for money, and I understand, like, Adam is gonna have to, if Adam didn't do the interview, somebody would, okay, at some point, or maybe nobody would. Why is it that this dude's been out almost a year and now you're giving him your platform? You know what I'm saying? Maybe this little nigga would have just, like, been on IG Live talking about it and it would have fizzled out. Now we're giving this nigga potentially a career out of this. Why are we giving him spotlight after this? You know what I feel like should happen to niggas like this, bro? Why don't we give people like this hired contract killer jobs or something. Like, if we're gonna go ahead and give him spotlight or give him a career, why don't we go ahead and put him in some sort of government training so he could become a contract hired killer or something, or send him off to go fight the war? I mean, like, something where he's doing positive, because this shit right here does not represent the rap community in a positive light. I understand that rap is synonymous with gang violence and murder and robbery and stuff like that, a lot of things that aren't good, but this right here is just lame, bro. Like, you wouldn't put people on a pedestal for robbing the elderly. Like, so why are we putting this dude on a pedestal for killing a rapper? Like, killing anybody? Like, why what is this? What is this crash out glorification in the past couple of years? But I mean, I'm yapping at this point. I'm rambling. That's all I wanted to say. What did you guys take on Adam 22 bringing Blockstar on his podcast, man? Because this shit is crazy. Y'all, hit me in the comments if anybody's watching this and let me know what y'all think. Y'all have a great day. I'm out.